William Kay, I think it was, wasn't it? But I don't think it's that. But he's come into close contact with someone who's tested positive. So it's kind of like, was he taking the right precautions? Was he taking the right steps and measures? And Castleford have been on the front foot here, which is to be applauded, in sort of stepping him aside whilst it all runs its course.
Yeah, and it kind of, as you say, it gets him. It doesn't mean that the RFL doesn't necessarily have to get involved in terms of, stepping players down, does it? If as you say, if Cass get on the front foot with it, and
point, they might have saved him a fine.
Yeah, there you go. Saved him a few quid. So we've said it before. The players need to understand the seriousness of it for the foreseeable future. So in that line, players have been warned they'll be fined if they celebrate scoring tries, League Express reported. RFL has told players not to engage in try-scoring antics. Good use of the word antics, or they will be hit with a £250 fine. Any players seen hugging or jumping on a try scorer will be warned for their first offence before being fined for an indiscretion in future games. Initially, players have been told not to have any celebrations, but the rules now permit that players can fist bump or pat a scorer on the back. Meanwhile, clubs will also be fined if they use images of illegal celebrations on their platforms, presumably social media platforms.
I think it's pushing the right behaviours, that, isn't it? Maybe a lot of people think it's a bit nanny state, a bit over the top. Loads of people say the same things they said about scrums, in terms of, well, they're tackling each other, so what's a hugging celebration of a try? But to me, it just reinforces what the sort of level of caution and behaving slightly differently that is required and expected. Yeah,
and you can't beat a good elbow pump, can you? So it's
Well, I don't know if you've watched much county cricket. I'm not sure where you sit on that sport, but in county cricket, I've noticed some of the players have been celebrating by tapping feet rather than fist bumping and stuff. So that's been interesting to see as an alternative. I think players can come up with some sort of elaborate celebration that doesn't need to be a group team celebration that can still, get noted as such.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, my mind goes back to the when you talk about cricket, the Ashes tour down under, where one of the celebrations was mimicking a sprinkler head.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. That kind of thing's perfect.
It could bring in the whole fortnight celebrations thing that you see from footballers when they score goals. Some of the solo celebrations you see, or like the NFL, they've relaxed their rules on celebrations a bit over the last few years to try and make it.
There's been some brilliant ones there.
More fun and stuff, and I think, for all the barroom antics that we certainly think are questionable, if not deplorable to the point where they're true, of what's as Ferguson down under, he still celebrates amazingly with them flips, doesn't he? And English used to do his little, I don't know, was it a lizard or something?
The iguana thing, yeah. Yeah.
So there's other ways to celebrate tries and still get stuff to put on social media and stuff that looks cool. And I think clubs should be trying to help the players look at those kind of angles on things.
Yeah, why not? Yes, something positive.
And now with all the TikTok dancing and stuff like that, it's perfect. It's perfect for it. And they're all people on their own or whatever. So I think they can come up with novel ways of celebrating tries that don't involve jumping or hugging and that sort of stuff. They will have to reconsider it when you get to finals, though, surely.
Yeah, if you score the winning try at the end of the grand final, if you don't have a big pile on, I'll be very, very disappointed with you.
Yeah. But then you can all self-isolate and no Bad Monday.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks. There you go. Let's move away from coronavirus news and talk about halfback Richie Myler, who's signed a new 2-year contract with the Leeds Rhinos. The 30-year-old has won 7 England caps, was out of contract at the end of the season, having moved to Headingley from the Catalan Dragons in 2018. So he looked set to be joining Toronto Wolfpack before their well-publicised problems that we're gonna probably have to talk about again soon. But we're on a bit of a Wolfpack hiatus at the moment. But his form since then has earned him a new deal at Leeds.
Yeah. He's deserved it without question.
You would imagine he's more on a squad contract now, but if he's happy at the club, happy and settled, kind of where he is, it makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's got a better chance of being paid, I think. So.
Yeah. Yeah, so you'd have a lower headline wage to actually ensure that you receive that wage. Plus, his wife's been one of the more proactive presenters during lockdown, it seemed like. It seemed like Countryfile and stuff weren't too affected, so she's still out and about. So she's still getting paid as well.
There you go. Yeah. In less positive news, so Wigan Warriors winger Liam Marshall faces up to a year out after suffering a knee injury in their win against Castleford. The 24-year-old limped off during the 30-22 victory and will now require surgery following the injury.
Yeah, that's shit.
Yeah, those non-contact injuries are always bad signs, aren't
they? He'd earned himself a starting place as well, hadn't he? And let's face it, Super League is going to be missing a star with him not there, because that try he scored against Huddersfield earlier in the season, that feels like forever ago now because it was in like February, but is going to be one of the tries of the season, probably the best individual try that we'll see this season, and we won't get to see that again now until the middle of next year at least. And from Wigan's perspective, with salary cap management, squad management and keeping costs down and stuff, they've basically gone from having 4 of the best wingers in the competition to next year starting it with maybe only 1 top winger.
You just have to get that. You just have to get that next one off the production line, won't you?
Yeah,
unpacking a bit early.
Hopefully so, yeah. But anyway, good luck to Liam Marshall in his recovery.
Yep.
Huddersfield boss Simon Wolford has said he is likely to leave the Super League club at the end of the season. The Australian, 45, is out of contract at the end of the campaign and has been linked with the assistant coach job at NRL side Penrith back in Australia. He told BBC Radio Leeds he expects to leave with unfinished business after moving to Huddersfield with a 3 or 4 year plan back in 2018. What do you make of this one? Who's manufacturing this position of Wolford leaving? Is time at Huddersfield has been a little bit up and down, but do you think the club aren't looking to extend, or do you think Wolford's looking to take a new opportunity?
Well, the coaching merry-go-round has started to slow down in the NRL, hasn't it? And the assistant coach at Penrith is obviously now available now that Trent Barrett, Old Sexy Eyes, is moving on. So yeah, it's an interesting kind of thing to sign a 2-year contract and then talk about a 3 or 4 year plan. But and it does prompt me to think about the Soviet 5-year plans, and you get towards the end of it and you never achieve anything that you set out for. I don't know. I think he's done a reasonable job. He came in when they were in a bit of a hole, and they've had some, they've shown signs of progress, even though it's been a bit faltering at times. So it is an odd one. Coaches don't often walk away from contracts unless they have something else that's on the table. So I'm guessing, it's part of a negotiating strategy with Penrith or whoever else he's thinking of applying to.
It does seem strange. You could argue that Huddersfield maybe don't want to keep him, and that's what's driving it, because he has had some woeful results since we've been back back playing. Last year was a poor year as well. They were in that relegation battle, really. But then on the flip side, he's overhauled the squad. He's attracted some real star talent in people like Aidan Caesar, and is improved like Gaskell, O'Brien, and a few other players that are kind of around the edges of the squad that are experienced players, but no other coach had seemed to be getting the best out of. Is improved those guys, and then at the same time brought through all these young guns like Jake Wardle, the two polar bears up front. Sam Wood seems to be getting a run in the team now. I know he's not super young because he's been around a while, but he hasn't got a lot of experience. Hewitt as well started to get some good minutes this year. And Darnell McIntosh, of course. So he's really developed some play. Well, he's not developed them. That credit to that goes to Andy Kelly, but Wolford's been part of that process of pushing them through into the first team squad, and he's improved a lot of players, I think. So I would be saying it's more Wolford looking to leave than Huddersfield looking to move him on. But interesting one.
For me, the Giants, as you said, performance-wise, it's been up and down, but they feel, as a team, they feel younger, they feel a bit more potential, a bit more kind of homegrown players. So they feel a little bit more like they're a team with potential.
Yeah. So
I'd be kind of thinking next year they've got the potential to improve and be on the edge of the playoffs potentially. And it just seems a bit weird, as you say, to be kind of looking to move away after a couple of years.
Yeah.
Or angling to it anyway. So, Hull FC have confirmed that halfback Mark Sneed will be out for up to 2 months with an ankle injury. Black and White's pivot was assisted from the field in the first half against Huddersfield after rolling his ankle, and scans have confirmed he will now be out for an extended period with lateral ligament damage.
That's nasty for him, and it probably, like up to 2 months, it takes him out of anything crucial that's going to happen this season, doesn't it? Because you can't see Hull FC getting to the semi-finals at this stage.
Unlikely.
Definitely not without Sneyd, I don't think. So he's I think he's probably one of the few players who week in, week out is going to get form regardless. Is going to be in that Hull FC team, and because of things like his goal kicking, which is never off form, even if he's general players. So that's a big loss.
Yeah, it is. We're going through that period out where we're losing a few players because of these kind of injuries, which I think the NRL did as well. But you're gonna you don't play a sport like ours if you're scared of getting injured. I think though is part of it, isn't it? No, that's true. Always is.
So big news this week though. Great news, Salford Red Devils have signed England centre Callum Watkins on a 3-year deal after Toronto Wolfpack withdrew from the Super League competition. The 29-year-old won 6 Super League titles when he was at Leeds, has made 25 appearances for England too, coming so close to getting us something in that World Cup final. He left Headingley mid-season last year to join NRL side Gold Coast Titans, but he returned to England when his father became ill in April this year and signed a deal with Toronto at the time, not to know that Toronto would never be able to pay him any money and fulfil that deal. So Callum Watkins going home to play in Greater Manchester. Yeah,
good signing. Obviously they've, the worst kept secret in Rugby League was confirmed last week in terms of losing some talent from the 3-quarter line at Salford. So, yeah, it's a good signing. I think,
It's a with immediate effect signing, isn't it, as well? I was under the impression this was him coming back in now and playing this year.
Why not?
Yeah.
No, he's not, sir. So, yeah, it's good. Good stuff. Good for him as well.
Yeah. Let's have a look. I'm just going to... he's joining them this season, it looks like. I think it's fantastic. He's still got some good rugby ahead of him at 29 years old. He's obviously had a bit of a rough spell. That injury a couple of years ago at Magic Weekend was just awful timing for him because it was when he was in the best form of his career, and then he was scratchy as anything when he came back. He even played a few games in the second row, didn't he? That was fucking ridiculous. I don't think he was that bad. in the NRL, I don't think he really got a full fair crack at it in a side that was absolutely shite as well at the back end of last season and right at the start of this season. And obviously he played his amateur rugby in